Alright, welcome back. I hope you're back. If you didn't see the first part of this video yet, go ahead and go back and watch that. What we're going to go over now is the knives that I carry every day. You may find it interesting, you may find a knife you didn't know about that you want. I carry on my keychain, I carry a lot of things on my keychain, but one of the things I carry on my keychain is this little lockback knife right here. It's small, it disappears with my keys. I don't take it when I'm traveling on an airplane. I don't even take my little P38 when I'm traveling on an airplane. You know, I could hijack an airplane with it, right? Anyway, I carry this little Gerber, and it's a little single blade. It's small, it's very sharp, and I use this a lot. You know, my wife says, "Hey, do you have a knife?" And I always ask her, "Where's yours?" Because I've bought my wife a lot of knives. They're mostly in her drawer. But so I always have this knife on me. It's a little knife, cut string, open envelopes. You could gut a deer with it. I gutted a deer with a knife similar to this one time. It was another Gerber. It was called the LST. I don't carry that on my keychain anymore. But this is a nice little knife, and it's just easy to carry, and it's relatively inoffensive, and you know, no one will yell at you. The other knife I carry almost every day is this. It's a Columbia River knife and tool. It's called the M16 14 Zulu Sierra Foxtrot. I think that's for Special Forces. I like this knife a lot. It's big enough to do what I may need it to do, but let me tell you what I do with it. I cut cardboard. The other day I was cutting 30-foot sections of roof gutter. I guess they make them all in one piece, but they're too big to fit in my truck. And so I was cutting them into 10-foot lengths, and I did it with this knife. And I just stabbed into the gutter and then ripped through and then ripped the gutter and cut a little bit more. And it did great. I brought it home, I resharpened it. You know, I cut cardboard with it, I opened boxes. I just got a Roman chair delivered today. After this video, I'll probably be opening up the tape and the little flex tie on it with this knife. I've cut roof shingles with it, and yes, I cut my lunch with it when I have something that I have to cut with. I wash it a lot. It has serrations down here on the bottom. You already know I don't really like serrations, but you know, I can't find one without it. Let me tell you what I really like about this knife. A lot of knives will have this little stick-up projection here, and that's so that you can flick it open with your finger like that. A lot of knives have that. But this knife has one here, and that is designed to catch on your pocket. Can you see this? Put it in your pocket, and as you're pulling it out of your pocket, it opens up the knife. So it's a very fast opening knife in case you have to use it that way. And so I carry this almost all the time. When I'm not carrying this, because it's a little heavy, it's not too heavy, but it's a little heavy. When I don't carry that one, I carry this one. And this is a Kershaw. Remember I told you about that projection up there, and you can just open this knife up. I really like the blade shape on this one. It just has a nice swooping blade shape for slicing. Has a point in the center. You can stab with it, and I think I got it at China Mart for about 15 bucks. So it's relatively inexpensive knife. Has a liner lock in it, so that's good. I like liner locks. But I discovered something about this knife about 2 weeks ago. Check this out. See, it's a liner lock, so once you open it, you can't close the blade. But watch this. Oops. The liner lock doesn't hold under shock. And so if you were fighting with this knife and somebody gave a sharp blow to the back of this knife, it would cut your fingers badly. So keep that in mind if you're using this knife for those applications. Make sure all your cuts are one way and don't get wrapped on the back of the knife. So I carry this when I want to carry a lighter knife. If I'm going jogging or something like that, I just clip it inside my shorts and then away I go. This came with a clip. I don't use it. I took the clip off. And so those are those. I've probably in my adult life killed, I don't know, 20 or 25 deer, and every one of them except one I have gutted with this knife. This is a buck folding hunter. I bought this buck folding hunter the day after I graduated from Ranger School. I lost my original buck folding hunter the night before I graduated from Ranger School. They give you a little 6-hour, 8-hour break to go wash clothes, eat lunch, or eat supper, eat lunch, supper, breakfast, lunch, supper, breakfast. And then as I was running back so that I wouldn't be late, I dropped it, and I lost the one that I took to Ranger School. So the day after I graduated, I bought this. I've had this one ever since. It's a great knife. It gets very sharp. It's easy to sharpen, and I've just used it for every deer except the one that I've cut. I used to carry it, but really it's a little bit too heavy in a pocket, and you have to use basically 2 hands to open it, and I didn't like that. Another knife that I use a lot is this. This is called a Green River knife. When I was 16 years old, I wanted to be a mountain man like you can read about. I built myself a costume, you know, leather clothing and a hat, and I went out and I bought a kit to make a Green River knife, and the American Mountain Man Association would not let you join until you were 18 years old, and by the time I was 18 I was into other things. But I bought this knife, the kit, and I put it together, and this is an awesome knife, and every time we butcher deer, this is the knife we use right here. This thing gets razor sharp. You can see it's discolored a little bit. That's fine. You know, like I said, I use my knives. I don't stick them in a box for people to admire. I really like this knife, and you know what? This is basically a butcher knife. That's all it is. You know what the mountain men carried? Butcher knives. You know what the Indians carried? Butcher knives. Are those survival knives? You know, the mountain men thought so. So I would say that this could be a survival knife, and you may want to consider it. All right, let's look at some. Oh, I have one more knife. I carry a knife in my wallet. You know, I seriously doubt anyone would ever get the drop on old Pastor Joe. But, you know, this is more fantasy than anything else. But if somebody had to take my wallet, you know, it's like, all right, here's my wallet. Take the wallet. Oh, look at that. Shoot. All right, this is called the Dogfish. I don't remember where I got it. You can get it online. It's made by Columbia River Knife and Tool. It is basically a scalpel with a can opener and a cool looking handle on it. And I just keep the little sheath that it comes with in my wallet, and that way I have a knife if I need it. If I, you know, for some very strange reason I forget one of my other knives. And I just like it in my wallet because I can pull that knife out very quickly, and like I said, it's razor sharp. I've never used it for anything. There's a guy on the internet was building a fire and shaving wood and stuff with it. I just haven't used mine. I just carry it. So these are the knives I carry every day. Let's look at some kits. This is the bag. It's on my blog, www.vikingpreparedness.blogspot.com. I talked about everything that's in this bag on my blog. But what I carry in here, and I carry this with me wherever I go. Mostly it sits in my car or whatever. I carry this knife right here. Again, it's a cold steel. It's called the Cold Steel Bushman. I like it because it's inexpensive, it's big, it's tough, it has good steel, and I like the shape. I'm a slicer. I study Filipino martial arts, and I really like slicing. And so this has a good slicing geometry to it. The point isn't quite in the center, but it's centered enough for stabbing. And it has this really cool hollow handle. You could stick it on the end of a stick and make a spear with it. I'm not going to do that, but that's what they say it's for. I wrap tape around it to improve my grip a little bit. One thing I don't like about this knife, it has a round cross section on the handle, and you really can't tell which way your blade's oriented without putting your thumb up here and feeling your blade. So that's something to think about for those of you who are more advanced in the practice. I also have in this bag a little survival kit that I carry, and in the survival kit I have two knives. I have an old GI, I think they used to call them demo knives. It's basically a Boy Scout knife. It's made with one blade and some can openers and a screwdriver and things like that, and it's just a decent, tough, sharp knife. And then I carry a Leatherman Wave, and this has every tool known to man on it. I love this. I have used this out of the knives I carry. I've used this for more things because you can do more things with it. So I carry Leatherman Wave. Do you need both of these in a survival kit? No, you don't. But I had both of them, and I threw them in there. And actually, I had this knife in here first, and then I got the Leatherman Wave for a present, and so I chucked it in there, and I just didn't take the other knife out. And so basically in my little bag that I carry, I have three knives. And so those are in there. You probably saw this if you watched the second video I ever did. This was in the background. This is my lightweight bob. It's just a lightweight go bag. It's not my primary bob. And I have two